Hey guys, welcome back to RHR Jen. I'm so glad you're here. Guys, if you like feisty Jen, if you like spicy Jen, if you like salty Jen, buckle up. You're going to like this one. Today we're talking with Love Meghan, episode 2, the Chrissy Teigen episode. I have so many thoughts, so much to talk about with you all. You're going to want to pay attention to this one. If you're new here, I'm Jen. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the thumbs up, leave me comments as all of those helps YouTube to recommend my videos. And just a reminder, I do have my second channel. It's Goose Adventures. Make sure you're subscribed over there as well. Let's jump right on in. Okay, this is the Chrissy Teigen episode 2. It was a doozy. Now, to prepare for this episode, when I get upset, I get tunnel vision. You guys know I like to say the same words over and over again. Well, not this time, because I have a little help from my friend Thesaurus. That's right. I pulled some words to help me out of this repeating pattern of mine of saying the same things over and over again. So shall we take a look? I think so too. Okay, words that I would use to describe this episode. Let's see here. I would say dull, tedious, monotonous, uninteresting, uninspiring, lackluster, dreary, mundane, tiresome, humdrum, flat, stale, uneventful, prosaic, vapid, bland, repetitive, unexciting, wearisome, lifeless. That's what I would use to describe this word. It was lifeless. Now, what I'm not going to do is make a boring explanation of a boring episode. What I am going to do is talk about the controversies of this episode, because I know why you're here. You know why you're here. We both know why you're here. Let's talk about that. Okay. Season 2, episode 2. Even the name is annoying. It's called Way Past Our Bread Time. I don't think so. It's like Meghan and Teigen, yes, even their names are annoying, decided to dial it up to, what is it? I didn't see Spinal Tap. Dial it up to 11. Whatever the most annoying setting is, that's what they've done for this episode. So they go into how they were friends. They haven't seen each other in 20 years. And I'm looking around saying, what are you two talking about? Because if I remember correctly, and my friend Google said that I did, they were at the wedding. So even if they didn't really get a chance to mingle much at the wedding, they were there. So you've seen each other in less than 20 years. I thought that was very weird. There was like a faux, like almost like a frenemies vibe going on with these two. It was very odd. At one point, they bonded over both being former briefcase girls for Deal or No Deal. Now, what's funny about that is Meghan went out of her way to remind everyone that Chrissy was a backup girl. You remember how narcissists like to put down others to make themselves feel better? Yeah, me too. I remember that too. I don't know what made me think of that. Weird. Anyway, but yeah, then Meghan tried to like make it like, oh, that was a past life. And again, they make it sound like a positive experience. But remember, Meghan has been playing victim over this. They made me wear bronzer. It's like, you've been wearing bronzer within an inch of your life for years. What are you talking about? Now, she may have let go of it now, but she still trots that stuff out. Honestly, since Doria doesn't seem to be in the picture right now, I'm surprised she hasn't tried to back out the bronzer lately. Just saying. But Teigen described herself during this part as not competitive at all. In last episode, Meghan described herself as not competitive at all. And what's funny about that is, they're both competitive. They're being competitive about how not competitive they are. Like, okay, I see you. I know what you're doing. They're those people. All right, the whole episode had a lot to do with sourdough. And while I love bread, I love sourdough. It's delicious. Even talk about mouth-watering, want some sourdough. Great. How do I say this nicely? As somebody who's been every size under the rainbow and has had a complicated relationship with food, see my other channel for details, I can recognize that I had way too much emotion tied up in food before. It's something I've moved on. It's something I have to continue to work on, but I've let go of. I no longer have those same feelings. When I heard these two talk about the way they love food, it came rushing back. Not for me, but I started hearing it and I'm thinking, I'm not accusing anybody of anything because I couldn't do that, but I'm just saying it sounds to me like, I don't love the word skinny because I know you guys don't love that word, but I don't know how else to say it. Skinny lady number one talking to skinny lady number two, both talking about how much they love bread and condensed milk. Yeah, right. And butter and things like that. And yes, I'm for it. You can love those things and be healthy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it felt a little too weird for these two non-competitive women to be competing over who loved bread and butter more while maintaining teeny tiny, physique. And then it's almost like a show of things. Like, I eat bread. Can we add some condensed milk to this? Yes, we can. And it's just like, okay, do we really love bread this much? Or do we just take a bite in front of the cameras and then throw in the garbage? I don't know. You can decide. Maybe they do. Maybe they just both happen to have the fastest metabolism in the whole world. Doubt it. Just saying. So that struck me as very odd. Again, while they're saying they're not competitive. Okay, sure. A lot of it's making sourdough bread. So it's a lot of pouring water into different bowls. It was a lot of pouring water. I had my friend, so I have this group that I love so much, my research group. I have this group of friends that we message each other while watching the show. And we're like, can you believe this? No, I can't believe this. I was messaging like this today saying, I can't believe this. Help me. I couldn't get through this episode. So one of my friends basically came back. She had already finished the episode and rescued me. She picked up watching the episode where I was, and we were angry messaging each other while watching it. Some of our messages were like, oh my gosh, can you believe this crap? No, I can't. Holy crap. But it really was. It was that bad. But so it's just a lot of pouring water, a lot of flowers we'll get into. They make this big show of making this Thai iced tea boba. So the significance of that is Teigen, it's her heritage. So great, fine. Except for if you really watch them, neither of them really drank it. They took a couple sips and like, great, let's add condensed milk, yay. And then they let it sit over on the counter. It was actually pretty funny to watch. And I thought, yeah, you guys are definitely eating the bread and drinking the condensed milk. I'm sure that's a thing that's happening. Okay, but if you want to see what the episode looked like, allow me. What am I doing? I'm just kneading sourdough. That's all they did. They just stood around having a staring contest kneading sourdough. I would rather watch the grass grow or the paint dry. I'd rather go to a dental appointment. I would rather have an invasive gynecological exam than watch this. It was crazy. Sorry, I freaked myself out with that one. No, but seriously, it was so stupid. So then they exclaim, little things like this make me happy. I'm sorry, what now? You had it was over $40 million wedding thrown for you. Maybe it was pounds. I don't know. Who cares? 40 million something wedding thrown for you, which you scoffed at and then called a spectacle. The little things do not impress you. You wouldn't have outspent all the other royals had the little things make you so happy and impress you, or whatever you're pretending like is happening now. You always got to think whatever they're saying, it's the opposite. They then go on to create jewelry inspired by their children. You know who loves making things? Children. Again, it's like, I'm going to reference being a mom, but don't worry, I won't actually do anything with my child. Don't worry, that's not a thing that's going to happen. Not that I even care to see the kids. I just find it weird. She knows it's weird. She's making mention of it. It's the same thing as alluding to H, but him not be. It's just weird. It's weird at this point. But they do a crafting segment where they take their children's birth month flowers. Now, let me tell you for about 4 hours why this is weird. Because Teigen makes it a big deal and brags a lot about not knowing her children's birthday. Like, that is the funniest thing she could ever do. She has it tattooed on her arm, rolls up her sleeve to look at it, and still calls her husband John to confirm. because she doesn't remember her kid's birthday. Did you want to take this or should I? What? What are we doing? That is so weird. Even if that's the case, let's say you forgot, you mixed up the days. Let's say your baby was born and it was a blur and you're exhausted, whatever. One, most people remember their child's birthday. And two, you don't say that. Because then how's it going to feel? They just don't think about how the kids will feel when they watch this crap. If I, for some reason, flubbed my child's birthday, I would never, but let's say I did, I would not admit that because it would make her feel, I would think about how it would make her feel. It would make her feel like I didn't care. I wouldn't find it as some funny anecdote, some quirky thing I can just throw out there. No, it just makes it seem like you're an a-hole who only thinks about yourself. Just saying. That actually sounds like something Meghan would do too. To make herself seem more human. Except for it's not human. It's robotic. It's alien. It's weird. But yeah, it's very cringeworthy. She's struggling to read it. She's calling for help to figure out the day. And it's just, I don't know what it was going for, but whatever it was trying to be, it missed. It made me feel really uncomfortable. It was one in a million examples of the awkwardness that was this show. It was discomfort. And you know what's funny? Even Meghan looked at that moment a little uncomfortable. And that's surprising because she has no awareness. I'm surprised she heard Teigen say anything, honestly, because Meghan's usually thinking about Meghan. So I'm actually surprised about that. But what else? So they're talking about their kids. Meghan doesn't seem to know the kids very well. She makes up crap. I don't believe it. She says something like, yeah, they really want a cat. Okay. This was after Teigen said they have 4 kids, 4 dogs, 2 cats. And I was like, what? Oh, and then Teigen says, I like to make recipes that take 4+ hours to cook. Who has time to do that? I've got 1 and I don't have time to do that. How in the world can anybody do that? I know. I understand. I live in a different world than Teigen. I don't have staff or millions in the bank. Nothing like that. So it's just a different world, but still, hello. It's again, Meghan's level of self-awareness. Why wouldn't people want to spend $200 on dried flower sprinkles to put on everything for no reason? You know what I mean? It's just like, no, because we live in the real world. We're not doing that. That's dumb. We're not making fetch happen. It's not a thing. So anyway, so that just kind of irked me a little bit. Let's see. They talk about, it's a nod to Meghan's acting days. She talked about, I don't know, a fictional child named Hansworth. I don't know what that was about. She kept bringing it up. To me, all I kept thinking is, she is not a human being. And what I mean is, she is not a human being. No, I just kept getting this vibe, and I was texting with my group, and I was like, guys, it's like she doesn't know how to be a person. And I really think she thinks everything she does is so great and so perfect that she feels like she needs to add in these faux quirks. Okay, go with me here. This is just what I believe. I think she thinks everything she does is fantastic and perfect. So she thinks the reason, if she can even admit that people don't like her, I don't even know if she's capable of that, but if she thinks that people don't like her, they're the istwards. Or I actually started to wonder, I wonder if she thinks she's too perfect. And so she started to throw in these little quirks, except for the differences. Most of us, definitely myself included, we actually have quirks. We have, maybe quirks isn't the right word. We have funny things about them ourselves that make us us. We have personality. We have depth. We have character. I'm honking into a microphone and you guys honk back, and it's one of the best parts of my day. I love it. So it's just fun little things, little weirdnesses that make us us. Meghan is just weird. She's just weird, not even for funsies. She's just different. She's an odd person. I don't know how to explain it. There's no depth. There's no character. There's no soul there. So I feel like she's done this new thing where she adds in these faux quirks and she thinks it makes her more likable. But what happens is she ends up coming across as more alien than anything else. It's just the vibe that I'm getting. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm onto something with that. Let's get into the trolling bull elephant in the room, shall we? I think so too. Let's talk Teigen in the past and Meghan's hypocrisy. Here we go. So as we know, in 2011, Teigen, I would say it was accused, but it's come out. So the 2011 tweets and private messages to, I said it before that I thought Kourtney was 19. No. Kourtney was 16 at the time. 16 years old. That is a child. 16-year-old Kourtney Stodden urging her to do, terrible things that I can't say here, but basically take a dirt nap. And it resurfaced, and I mean, it was just terrible, terrible things. And she was branded a cyber bull. Again, the reason I say that, if you're new here, is because YouTube doesn't like the word. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. She did terrible things, said awful things that you wouldn't say to your worst enemy. I don't like Meghan Markle's actions. I do not like Prince Harry's actions. There's a difference. You cannot like people's actions. You can give logic and reason. That's what I'm doing here. My intention is never to target somebody or to go after somebody in that manner. I think that is completely wrong. It doesn't matter what they believe. I would never encourage somebody to take themselves out. That is a level that most people would never ever cross, but there's a difference. But in 2021, it is important to note Teigen allegedly, I say allegedly, apologized, calling herself, quote, insecure, attention-seeking troll, claiming she reached out to Stodden privately. Now, it's important to note that Stodden has denied this. According to my Googling, Stodden denied this, casting doubt on her sincerity. So critics have argued this does nothing to ease the harm in what was done, and that there's a history there of grotesque, predatory bull stuff, especially toward children. So here, of course, you know where I'm going with this, but in case you don't, there is such hypocrisy in this guest choice. Meghan's decision to feature Teigen like this is so incredible, given her BS, again, her words and actions never match, her BS public stance against the bulwarks, claiming that she was the most trolled person in the world. No, you're not. No, you are not. In 2020, and she has Chrissy Teigen on her show, known for this kind of behavior. And again, as you can imagine, the news and social media and everything else has gone absolutely wild, saying, mean girls of a feather and bulls promoting other bulls. That's what it feels like to me. And I think about, Meghan's squad. I've been very vocal about that and how awful they've been to anybody who does any kind of content like this, even if it's just pointing out, hey, I don't like this behavior. I don't like their actions. I think it's wrong how they treated Her Majesty the late Queen. They still take it to an unbelievably dark level, and Meghan never calls it out. Look how they treated Catherine, Princess of Wales. They never, ever calls it out. It's further hypocrisy. But it's just, I don't know. It's next level hypocrisy, I think. And to host somebody with a history like that just shows, again, Meghan gives 0 F's about it. I don't think either one of them are genuine. I think both of them are just looking for anything to get themselves attention. So of course she's going to have Chrissy on, and of course Chrissy's going to go on, of course. So people are saying that the backlash is tarnishing Meghan's brand, and I'm saying, what brand? It's already tarnished. How can it get worse? Like, is she hoping it'll be so tarnished it'll like do a full circle and become pristine again? I don't think so. I think just overall, it's just important to note that, because it adds to the lack of authenticity which rang through this whole episode. So it's shallow. It felt so staged. It felt just awkward. And that's outside of the fact that you had this whole controversy going on. But I really think, too, when you come down to it, it's pretty simple. Unlikable person hosts unlikable person, and they do unlikable things. I love bread. I'll eat bread all day long, but I don't care to watch two people have no conversation and sit there for 20 minutes and do this. This does nothing. I don't understand who this show is for. I keep saying that, but I'm telling you again, I don't understand who this show is for. Diehard Meghan fans, they're not getting anything from her. Actual cooks and chefs, no, they already know how to do this stuff. People that don't cook, no, because you're not adding anything to it. I like to watch Nailed It, with Nicole Byer. I'm not learning anything from that, and that's okay. It's funny. This is not funny. This is not clever. This is not humorous. This is not anything. I really, really don't understand. So there's a lot of, again, controversy with this episode by choice of guests. They're speculating that, of course, Meghan chose Teigen to leverage her social media influence. I think that's why they trotted out John Legend. I think they're both in similar situations where their husbands are just the more likable partner. And so, or maybe the more talented, whatever, not that H is talented, but you get what I'm saying, the more famous of the duo. So they trot them out, use them for a minute, and then put them away. Okay, let's talk Meghan's outfits in this episode because they're ridiculous too. She wears white a lot lately. She's kind of backed away from the beige. They're still beige. It's like creamy off-white and stuff. But it's a lot of white. And what I kept thinking about this is like, why is she wearing white? Most of us would think about something like that. Unless you're a chef and you have like a chef's coat that you can just throw in, it'd be like a lab coat. You can just throw it in and bleach it and it's no problem. Okay, I get that. That's not what she's doing. She's wearing these expensive clothes in white. I actually wonder if it's almost like, this is a weird analogy, go with me, almost like a humble brag. Like, I've heard stories, you hear stories of like women in these expensive cities such as New York, where the rest of us are like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay for my kid's college? That's so expensive. What happens if my kid breaks her leg? What if she needs braces? Oh my gosh, I got to save for all this stuff. I got to figure this out. Okay. Some women, I've heard stories of them having so many kids. It's kind of like a bragging right. Like almost, I don't need to worry about that. Who cares? I can have 6 kids. Their college is paid for. It's not a worry. It's not a problem. We're in a position to be able to do that. It's no problem. It's almost like using them as a bragging thing. I almost got the same vibe by wearing white. I know that sounds crazy, but I thought she's wearing expensive white. Why would she do that? To me, it says she's not actually working in the kitchen. And 2, it just screams like a brag move. Like, I'm not worried if I ruin this $6,000 top. It's fine. Who cares? I can afford 10 more. I'm wearing a $60,000 pinky ring. So it's fine. Who cares if the little diamond, big diamond, chips off, whatever. Like, most of us just don't. Well, she doesn't think like the rest of us, so there's that. But I find it weird, and I kept thinking, what is the purpose of that? And I really feel like it's almost like a humble brag, and she thinks we're too stupid to notice. That's just my opinion on that. Hey guys, I'm going to leave this one here. As we are wrapping up this episode, let's take a look at our bingo card again, shall we? I've got mine here on my phone. I'll pop it up on the screen so you can play along at home. Rude comment? Yes, because she was going over Chrissy being a backup briefcase girl, as if that makes Meghan more superior. My husband, not my husband specifically, but there is an H mention we'll get to. High-waisted pants. She had on a very high-waisted skirt, but not, she may have, I need to look back at the pants. I don't think so. Overdressed for cooking. I'm going to say yes, because she wore white, and that is way overdressed if you ask me. Seal clap. Not that I recall. A lot of tense smiles, but I didn't see a seal clap. Rewriting history. Yes, because she was changing her deal or no deal history a little bit, it felt like. And how long it's been since she's seen Teigen, because she said 20 years, and then Teigen was at her wedding, so that's weird. No soap story. Incorrect cutlery. I didn't notice that. Now, good news. I have Chef Matt coming back. I'm so excited. So Chef Matt is a very busy guy. If you don't remember, he's on season 1 with me a little bit. And he would help fix recipes and give constructive feedback on what was going on. What he thought could be improved in Meghan's kitchen. So he's coming back. As soon as he's available, I will be talking to Chef Matt. Beige. She seems to have switched that for cream, which is piss. Did they drink that? No, they're just sipping on the boba. Authentic. I can't recall her using the word authentic, but authentically she probably did. Jumping up and down. I don't think she did that. It was more of just tight, clenched smile. So there's that. H. Yes, she did call him H in one scene. So that gives us a bingo down the second column there. We got a bingo. And then royal reference. Did she royal reference? I can't recall that. Vague children reference. Yes, she did. She talked about them with their flowers. So there's that. Definitely, we got a bingo there. But let's keep going because I think we can fill the whole card. A big shout out and thank you to my special research team. You guys are wonderful. That's my group. I've been texting with saying, can you believe this? No, I can't believe this. I thank you for all of your help. Thank you for keeping me sane during this insane time. Thank you to all of you who are commenting and watching my recaps. I really appreciate that. I am very aware of that interview that she gave, so I am planning to hit the high and low points, mostly low, of that. So don't worry about that. I'm just not sure in what order. I might keep going with the show. I may kind of switch to that. It just depends on what you guys want. If you want to leave me comments on what you want, do that. What else? There's just so much going on. Check back lots. I'm going to have some shorts coming out about all of this. And yeah, I just can't wait to read your comments. And thank you for all your lovely support. It just means the world to me. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. I can't wait to talk to Chef Matt. I just can't wait to get his feedback on all this. If you have questions for Chef Matt, please feel free to leave those in the comments. As soon as he's available, he's a very busy guy. As soon as he's available, I will be talking to him. Thank you guys so much, and I truly hope you all have the best day. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye. Oh, gosh, this episode. Okay, so when I used to cover in the city, I was looking up words for, I think, sucks. That show sucks. I was talking about that. And one British slang came up that I love that I forgot about until right now. And that is, this is a load of pants. So if you've been with me a long time, you know that I say this is a load of pants. Well, this episode was a load of pants. It really was. This whole show is a load of pants. But this episode in particular was one of the all-time worst. I would say, the Mindy Kaling one was just made me mad just watching that and just thinking, oh, she's awful. But then this one, I just had a feeling of this is the most god-awful, boring, most vapid, what's the word? It was the most bizarre thing because they were trying to be friendly with each other, but more like frenemies. But then also the desperation was reeking off of them. So I just got a very uncomfortable energy from them and vibe. And it's like both of them knew that this was their only shot. So they really had to work hard and then also to work hard to pretend like they're just regular folks, and it's no, you're not. And you're acting weird and it's uncomfortable to watch. And then the hypocrisy of it all, it's just a lot. So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. Let me know your thoughts on all of it. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you stayed with me this long, let me know. Who's another hypocritical guest? I think this was pretty hypocritical of Meghan to have this person on the show. Who's another hypocritical guest that would be funny that Meghan would try to have? Sorry about my squeaky chair. I'm trying to think who would be a good example of this. Chrissy Teigen's pretty perfect because Meghan pretends to be anti-bull. And then it'd be where she pretends to be all about the Eastward stuff. But then if she had on a known Eastward. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. How about we make it more fun? How about if you stay tuned this long, let's see. Who would be a better host for this show? How about that? Who is somebody you'd actually like to see host this show that does real cooking stuff and real home stuff? And it doesn't have to be somebody that's known for that. Just whose personality would you like to see host a show like this? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. I really appreciate it. I can't wait to bring you more stuff like this. Take care. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.